Oh, way, way. Thank you for your perseverance. I think it is part of your nature, your Irish nature, which is wonderful. Diana, thank you for a wonderful, wonderful film and for taking us around the world and appreciating trees in every form, shape, and the history of it and the spirit of it. It was a great film. Just the audience, can you just tell Diana how much you, can you hear that? So, Diana, what is this movement? It's a massive movement, global reforestation to reverse climate change. So, just talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, first off, you need to know with this film there's an app to go with the film, and it's called the forest.ca. And I have geo-positioned all of the botanical areas of zoning across all of North America. And so all you have to do is key into that, and I've given you a choice of 4 or 5 principal trees that will take carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere more readily than any other tree in your particular growing area. And then I've also added another tree for the protection of the people who are doing
Recording in progress.
To protect them against cancers. So how it started was quite a long time ago. I started writing before the year 2000, and I wrote Arboretum America, Philosophy of the Forest. And E.O. Wilson, your wonderful professor, E.O. Wilson at Harvard, has really, since until he died, was my patron all the way through this. He considered what I was doing was very important. Then I did the Global Forest, then I did Arboretum Borealis. And my idea was, and to speak for the trees, and my latest book, Our Green Heart, The Soul and Science of the Forest, my idea was to get the thinking, in a sense, the thinking about the importance of the forests. Because what has happened is in the last 50 years, the forests have come down all over the world, and that's including America, North America here, and in the United States. And people didn't even know that the forest was so important for water supplies, for atmospheric conditions, for the reduction of CO2, and for the dripping out of oxygen. And of course, we know that the forests add a food nutrient into the oceans, which is iron, into the oceans to actually manage and promote the growth of all of the green plants of the ocean. And that's all the algae, all the Crococalis, Chamacypinalis, all of these species in the oceans. Now we know, now we have to take action. And this is not about money, this is about a future for you, your children, and your grandchildren. So I've been working very diligently, and the University of Michigan Press has been very, very good to me. They have peer reviewed my work via Harvard. So I essentially know the people who have peered my work. So my work is specifically scientific. So I wanted it to be used as a treasury for all science. And Arboretum America is the most used book in forestry, in silviculture, in all of the United States. So that is used. So I wanted to simplify the science, get it very simple. Understanding, anybody can understand science. It depends on how well it's explained to you. It's just like mathematics. And I really worked on that. I worked on seeing children who were starting to learn how to read, and the concept pattern language of their thinking I put into all my books. So I desperately want you, all of you, to be my ambassadors. Please do that, because I can't do it alone. You can't do it alone, but we can do this together. We can reduce climate change. We can stop the 414 parts per million of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and pull it down into the 300s. If we plant the forest, plant enough trees, then we can think about what we can do about climate change. We can think what we can do about oil reserves. We can think what we can do with maybe batteries, lithium, and actually new thinking in the science of electron transfer and photonic transfer, because that science is really on the top of the wave right now. And it is a quantum system that really will work for the whole globe. So that's really what I've been doing.
What do you do in your spare time, Diana?
Well, I refused a professorship of medicine to do this. I refused that because I felt at the time when I started to do my writing, I was the researcher for the synthetic blood. I made the synthetic blood. It's used all over the world right now in the delivery of in the delivery of chemotherapeutics into the blood system, and it saved many lives. This is why I'm so interested in health and the connection of health to the forest, because that really hasn't been thought about up to now. And so I have the chemistry and organic chemistry, nuclear chemistry, and so on and so forth, understanding of the forest, and I'm putting that into the human condition. And we need to know this. We need to know that for you, all of you, please listen to this, a white pine, Pinus strobus. I'll hold up my hand, 5 leaves in a bundle, Pinus strobus. If you walk under it and forest bathe under it, now, starting now for you, slowly walk around like I did in the film, it gives you a protection for 1 full month to all cancers. So do it every single month and you get a protection to all the cancers, all the ranges of cancers, because it jumps up the T-cell ratio in the body, and the T-cell ratio is the guard system in your body, and it changes the neutrophils, which is your ability to identify foreign objects coming into your body. So I'm swaying 2 ways. We've got to stop climate change, and indeed we will, and with your help, we will do it. But I'm also interested in the medicine, so I never leave go of my little baby, where I was supposed to have been running an institute in medicine. I'm not. I'm here for you.
Yes, well, extraordinary. Thank you.
You're welcome. Very welcome.
So Diana, the film is very complex and very layered, and you have an enormous variety of people because you've traveled around the world. How did you pick the Japanese, the little urban forests, and the genetic doctors, and how did you do that?
Well, I in my work, my own work, I happen to know people all over the world for my own research, particular research that I've been doing. And Akira Miyawaki wanted to meet me. He had written 10 major books on the flora of Japan. And it was the strangest of meetings with Akira. Akira died about a year ago, and he did the mini forest. He was the most wonderful man. I was sitting on a bench in Tokyo, waiting for Akira because the traffic was very bad, for him to arrive. And he came in, and he was a roly-poly man. And he came in and sat next to me, and he held my hand. And he said, "Diana, I'm no longer alone. There are
nice.
2 of us doing this now."
Yes, how great.
And he was another patron. And so he launched some of his books to here, and then I would go over some of his work. And he was wonderful. I couldn't even say how wonderful. Then Matsuniko Katsunaga, he is the top marine chemist in all of Japan. And of course, he and I, when we get talking, I mean, in characterizing the compounds, the humic acid, fulvic acid, going out into the ocean, and I have characterized some of these compounds. We knew what we were talking about. He and I could talk forever. And he's the most wonderful person. He's a very tall Japanese man, but he's so quiet and he is so learned, and he has a team of 40 people working for him. And he's the one who did stage that huge experiment on the oceans outside of Japan and found what the ancient saying is to catch a fish, you plant a tree. And all of the fishermen in Japan right now are actually planting the forests. And I asked them if they would allow me to take my crew to take photographs of them when they're planting the trees. And they were very shy. The Japanese people are really kind of shy, and they wouldn't allow me to do it. So, well, it sucks. I didn't get to photograph them, but they are doing it, and we should be doing that too.
Yes.
And my idea is what I'm saying. I'm the godmother to the head of the CSIRA, the top physicist in Australia. I've got these kind of weird connections. I'm just a weird person. I kind of have an open mind for all kinds of things, for art, for theatre, for poetry, and somehow they come in the door to me.
Yes, you attract them like a forest fairy. You're a forest fairy, Diana.
I have right now, unfortunately, I'd love to have you all come up here. I have about 10,000 daffodils out there in flower in the main part of the garden, and I've been breeding them. So I have multiple pink daffodils.
Pink?
So I'm
Pink?
doing all kinds of things.
Wow.
So, and I love to have children. I have a lot of kids in the States that I'm being like the mother to them. They're planting trees. They're doing all kinds of things. I'm helping them with some of their schoolwork, their schoolwork here. Yeah, the kids are just fantastic. They're just absolutely, all of our kids are fantastic. So I'm there for everybody, kind of,
Well,
if you want to know.
You should take a trip to the east end of Long Island, because that's where we are.
I will.
And we have an extraordinary dwarf pine, the pine barrens. It's a unique
And now the
species.
pine barrens are very important too, because they've got a lot of creosote in them. And if any of you manage to get to the pine barrens and you have difficulty breathing, let's say if you have had a cold or a very bad flu, I'm talking to all of you now, get yourself out to the pine barrens, because that will empty your lower parts of your lungs of deleterious material. It will slough it all out. It'll cause your alveolar tissue to start sloughing, and then you cough it out. It's really good for you to do that. And if you've got little kids, grandchildren or something, who have very bad colds and flus, which is happening right now, get the kids, get a couple of cones in their hands, get them to play and come with you. And there's such a thing as, blackmailing. Blackmail your husband. Don't cook for him. I don't make any cakes for him until he listens to you. Get him out there and get him healthy.
Diana, we have an audience here, and I know that people are wanting some questions of you. So please, we're coming around with microphones.
Good.
For Diana. Here's one here. Don't be shy. Diana's not shy.
No.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you for your film. I want to ask you about invasives. We have swaths of green forest, land, invasives everywhere. How do you even begin restoration?
Well, listen to me. You and I are invasives. I think people get very hysterical about restoration. We do not have the fundings right now to do much restoration, but the government could do it, and the Canadian government could also do it. So that is going to happen in the future. I'm absolutely convinced of that. It started in Ireland. The Sitka spruce is being dug out of Ireland because it's tainting all of the lakes. And the lake trout are having a hell of a problem in Ireland. It is happening in South Africa. It's happening in other countries in Australia. The big one that you should take care of is get rid of the eucalyptus. Do not plant any more eucalyptus because it flash fires at 48 degrees centigrade. That means it makes a blanket of fire, and it can do it without any provocation at all, even if you have a thunderstorm. Even one cigarette out into a eucalyptus forest because the resins are in the bark and the bark falls down, not the leaves. The resins are in the bark and it's flash firing. So listen to me. Look, I could talk to you for hours on this. And you know what when you're thinking about restoration, what happens is it stops you from doing a lot of things that we should be doing. So just put it in the back burner right now because we've got a lot of other things we have to take care of. And don't forget it though. Don't forget that we do need to do this, but get those sequoias in, get the marvelous, marvelous Castanea dentata, your chestnuts in, and I've got resistant chestnuts here. They're going down to you folks.
Yes, I think there are some chestnuts in our area.
Oh yes,
There's
of course. Yes, there is. So yeah,
oh, there's a question there.
I didn't hear that one.
It's coming.
Diana,
Oh,
I love your
yes.
film, and I love your. I've read a lot of your material, and I love the work that you're doing. I really thought it would be cool to organize in our own town and find spots of land to do mini forest revolutions. Are there places in the United States, in particular, that we could follow their example of the routes that they took to do that?
Oh yes, yes. Yes, actually, you could start with schools, get permission to plant in schools and have the kids help. Oh, there's places, there are places everywhere. There really are. And Natalia, I've got a bunch of kids doing this doing replanting forests in all kinds of small areas. Just kind of sniff around, look on the internet. It is happening. And right off the top of my head, you know, I can't give you addresses because I don't have them in my head. We would have to have another, you know, jaunt to this. But you can find them yourself. You know, get the shovel out, get the acorns out, and now is planting time for you. And just get the stuff in, even if it's one tree, even if it's two trees. But just follow what Akira Miyawaki says, and also follow some of the stuff that I have in my film too.
Diana, if we were to plant one tree, if everyone leaves here today and
Yeah.
follows your request of planting a tree, one tree, native tree,
Yeah.
once for 6 years, what tree would you recommend for the east end of Long Island?
I would definitely recommend for you one of your native oaks.
A native oak.
Oaks.
Okay.
And why I recommended that is we're expecting temperatures to go very high. They will go very high this year and they're on an exponential, okay? The oak can withstand excessive sunlight and can withstand UVA, UVB, UVC. This is the damaging aspect of sunlight that causes melanoma on your skin. The oak will not be hampered by extra sunlight. What the oak does, it's capable of taking the photons and putting the photons into a food source, which is an extra food source, and making much larger acorns. And those acorns are edible, and those acorns may well be the source of flour for you in the future. So the oak can withstand heat. It is a drought-resistant one, and it's a metropolis all on its own. And if you're thinking farther south of you right now, the Quercus douglasii, 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 which is the blue oak. It is almost disappeared from the coast down into California. If you've got family or friends in California, ask them to start picking the acorns of the blue oak and please plant them. Plant them about 50 feet apart because California now will be open to having lots of fires because of the eucalyptus. So that's number one. Oak for you. Oak for everybody.
Okay.
All you need is
Oak
a little
for
trowel,
everybody.
get the acorns, and I'm talking about how to identify these acorns and to speak for the trees, and also our green heart. I have a chapter in there telling you, follow that, our green heart, follow the planting instructions there, follow the planting instructions in Arboretum America. So I'm full of instructions for this kind of stuff. Put them in with a pinch of baking soda.
Baking soda.
Soda descents the smell of the oak, as the oak acorn, because squirrels love to get those acorns, and the squirrel cannot smell the acorn or the sapling if you have a pinch of baking soda on it.
Well, wow, that is the tip of the day, Diana.
Yeah,
That's
and everybody's
wonderful.
got baking soda.
Yeah, everybody has baking soda for sure. Are there some more questions here? Yeah.
Okay,
We
fire
have, we
away.
have more questions.
You mentioned that there was an app that goes along with the film.
Yeah.
Can you say again what the name of it is?
The name of it is Call of the Forest. That's the name of the film. calloftheforest.ca.
Okay. Calloftheforest.ca.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Another question for Diana back there in the back.
Thank you for your wonderful work and for the love you show for the earth and for the people on it. What about, please, the underwater plantings you've mentioned?
Yeah.
The underwater plantings, what are you thinking of there for us on the east end of Long Island?
The kelp, you mean?
Okay.
Are you thinking kelp or other things?
Yeah. I would ask you to do something in the area you're in specifically. Can you try and find a source of this plant, Apios americana? And I'll spell it for you. APIOS and then americana. Everybody knows how to spell
Apios.
americana. It is a triploid species that loves to grow in water, at the edge of water. The Aboriginal people used this in the millennia ago as a major food source. It produces a bulb at the end of it as large as a turnip, and it's an extremely good food for you to be eating.
Yes.
I would like someone of you to resurrect that. It is a member of the legume family. Mm-hmm. It is related to the pea, and it would be very exciting in the world of horticulture and biodiversity if somebody found that. You start looking for it in July. It will grow as tall as I am. Its flowers are like the sweet pea flowers, so that's how you'll recognize it. It has kind of a purpley, bluey flower on it and a beautiful, fabulous smell. And you'll find it about a foot up into beyond the wet system of a stream or a river in the area you're in.
Wonderful.
So that's number one.
Thank
so
you.
All of the others are oxygenators. And if you want to know about oxygenators, I would ask you maybe to get my gardening book, which is called A Garden for Life. And get that in the library and start looking at that one.
A Garden for Life. That's a good start. We have a question here, please.
Thank you, Diana. I've loved your books, and I love the work that you're doing. And I want everyone to know in this room that I have Apios americana growing in my garden in Amagansett.
You're my friend. Oh, my goodness. Oh. You're wonderful.
So I will write to you about it, and anyone in this room can come and enjoy the Apios americana that I have in my garden. Thank you.
Diana can't see you, so introduce yourself.
Okay, so my name is Scott Chasky, and
Okay,
we'll be
Scott.
in touch.
But I would do an exchange with you. You'd never know what little goodies I might come up with.
Thank you. My mother was born in Ireland, just so you know.
When you're crossing that, you have to cross it with itself, because and take cuttings with itself because it's a triploid. And so division, mitosis, is a bit difficult for that plant. So, but cuttings will do too. So you're wonderful. That's marvelous news.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Just one more question.
Okay,
Do-
sure, fire ahead.
Hi, thank you very much. My name is Adrienne. I live here in Southampton, and I've been on our sustainability committee. And there's a lot of development. I've also worked with some very prominent landscape firms, and I've seen a lot of trees cut down and things destroyed, and then people come up with these re-veg plans, and they're really not doing much good, and certainly not making up for taking down old growth trees. So I'm wondering, would this movie be available to our town? And
Yes, it definitely would be. Definitely would be. Absolutely.
okay,
Yes,
we
it
can
would
be in
work
touch
with
with
you.
you.
No, I'm just trying to think now.
If they go to the colorforest.ca, there's some shows how to get
Go to calloftheforest.ca,
Yes.
and there's about 10 videos also on that I put in as planting videos.
Oh, great.
And also in your area, you'll have a choice of species. And really, we have to discourage people from cutting down trees. And that was my idea originally, is if people have the information and they know that they know that by taking down certain trees in their garden or on their property, it exposes them to getting cancer, or their children getting cancer, or problems like diabetes happening, then they're pretty slow to cut them down. It is a matter of getting the information out into the public. And you can do that, all of you can do that today. We can multiply the effect. Each one of you has, I would presume, a family of 10 or friends, including friends and stuff. Try and influence people, and try and get my books into the library, and then you don't have to buy them, you can go and get them. Mind you, I'd be happy if you were going to buy them, but that's life, as we're all living right now.
Great.
We just have to respect the trees, and the thing about it is that it's just extraordinary to me. The cloud chamber work that's happening in MIT, it's happening in Europe. The cloud chamber effect of the atmospheric effects of forests and trees going into the atmosphere. We never knew they were that important. This is why we're having rivers in the sky. This is why we're having these tremendous, tremendous storms coming up. And there are people who have lost their homes and their houses and their pets and their children. And you know now what to do. You know now we've got to plant trees. I know, and I'll be there, I hope. And you can nag at me if you want. And some of them are so magnificent. It's for me, it's an extraordinary thing that you have quantum mechanics in a tree. We're cutting them down and we don't even know how they fully function. That's true. One other thing, that this is an ancient thing that they're digging up in Ireland. They're finding sweat lodges in Ireland, in ancient Ireland, about the time of Christ. They were using them. And they used sweat lodges. They put some of the tree barks into this huge stone sweat lodge, and people were cured. It's an old method of curing. And also, the trees were the beginning of the English language. Some of you may have the name car, the car you drive. That's a Gaelic name. Hospital on Oispedale is a Gaelic name. You forget there is all this backlog of wisdom that we can use. We can use it today for looking after the planet. And you're starting, and I'm going gangbusters. So catch up with me.
Yay! Thank you.
I think there's one more question.
Of course.
Diana,
Come
we
on,
can't let
fire
you
it
go.
in.
We have an opportunity. One more question, please.
Hi, Diana.
Hello.
You're awesome. You're so adorable, and you're
Tell that to
enthusiastic.
my husband. Oh.
Your
He's
enthusiasm,
adorable, yeah.
your enthusiasm is infectious and inspiring. Out here on Long Island, there's been a problem with the Japanese longhorn beetles that are just
Oh,
ravaging our
okay,
forests, and you could see it everywhere.
yeah.
And it's a bit disheartening and troublesome. And I'm wondering what we can do on a small scale, but then is there something that could be done on a large scale?
Well, really, to be honest with you, I don't know how to really get rid of the longhorn beetle. You're going to have to talk to a zoologist. But from my point of view, what I do here in the garden is I have bird houses all over the place. And I increase my bird population because birds love to eat all kinds of beetles and bugs and God knows what. And I'm not sure about the longhorn beetle. I'm not sure how to handle that really. But you can increase the predation on your property by having more birdhouses and more birds coming in and feeding the birds. So birds groom all the trees, they groom the grasses, they groom the ground, and it releases the predation for you. And I don't know. You'll have to go into one of your universities and pester somebody about the longhorn beetle. A bacillus would come to mind, something like Bacillus thuringiensis, but I don't know if that would work on this beetle. I don't know. So I'm sorry, I've given you half an answer to that question.
I like the birdhouse
It's the
idea.
best I can do.
Okay, there's one final question. Diana, I'm so sorry. Just one more. I was asked to include one more, so please.
Thank you for your beautiful film. I'm curious of your thoughts about agroforestry.
About agroforestry?
Yes.
Agroforestry?
In what sense?
In what sense? What, like plantation forestry, you mean, or?
In terms of food production within a forest system.
Oh, yes, baby doll. Yeah. You have in North America, in the United States, in the full eastern portion of the United States, a huge range of nuts. And the nuts are the shagbarks, the hickories, all of the hickories, tomentosa, caria, lacanosia, ovata. And those nuts can be included into your forest anywhere in the eastern portion of the continent. I have them. I've just written about precocious nut trees that start producing nuts. Now, let me tell you what are in those nuts. Let alone are we thinking about food, but it is about brain repairs. They have oleic, linoleic, and linolenic acid, the three essential fatty acids for brain repair and major organ repair. Those fatty acids are very, very, very little of them are found in our food these days, the industrial food we're eating. So to have a good quality brain, go out and plant the lacanosias. Go out and plant, those are called king nuts, and the pecans. Go and put them into a forested area. You will never regret them. That is part of an ancient savanna idea that the First Nations had. And your mound culture down in Illinois was the basis for that mound culture. And they grew black walnuts. And the people who eat black walnuts do not have cavities. They have fabulous teeth.
Wow.
And the black walnuts, if you take the leaf of the black walnut, rub it up your arm for a woman, rub it up your arm, it gets rid of, it will protect you to breast cancer. And if you've got little suckers, grandchildren with you, get the black walnut in its green stage, get the kids to hold them like that and play with them. It stops early childhood leukemia. Yes, do plant them.
Yes.
And then invite me down for a cup of tea.
Well, Diana, this was absolutely a sterling evening with you. So from the film to this Q&A, we thank you so much for the work you do, and we'll try to come back again.
Can I give you a blessing? Can I give you a blessing from the 5th century?
Yes, please.
From Ireland, and it was used for children as they were going out into the world and to protect them in the world. And it is considered to be a mantle prayer, and all of you will get this, and you will hold this mantle. It's in Gaelic, and I'll translate the Gaelic for you. Beg dialach, agus go meg tú mio, agus go nairi tú. Now, beg dialach, may it be that you walk with the divine. Agus go meg tú mio, and may you always have great health. But it's mio means health and life and a willingness to live. Agus go nairi tú. And may you rise within yourself like yeast in a bread and show people around who you are. And that's considered to be a mantle, an environmental mantle prayer for all of you. I'm giving you that. And you will see there is a difference in you holding that mantle close to you.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you so much. Good night.